Okay, y'all. Welcome to part 11 of Before Deciding on a Career Choice, which is part of Inner Selves Management here on Motorhomer's channel. And I am your host, Predada, the Beyond Above Deep Black Director of the Illuminati, more currently known as the Overt Director of the Illuminati. When I say Beyond Above Deep Black, I'm supposed to be saying one of the Beyond Above Deep Black directors. Anyway, so I was saying in the last video, I'm getting tired. Part of that was heat exhaustion, because I wasn't getting air circulation. So you'll notice the background is a little different because I had to open this up some so that I have air circulation coming from the back here, right? And it's still hot. It's affecting me being able to talk and everything, making me drowsy and woozy and whatever those words are. Anyway, so in the other video, last video, because this is number 11, yeah. In the last video, maybe I change up my way I'm sitting and stuff too. That might help a little bit. Yeah, that feels better. A little bit. Anyway, so in the last video, I was like, you're sitting there thinking to yourself, hey, this, if I just jump out on the road when I sell a house with that money, I'll be good. And then, you got people, whilst they're fortunate, this is what I mean by fortunate. Now I'm sitting in a different position. I'm back more. I got to speak louder, plus the vehicle's passing. But like I said, I'm going to talk over the vehicles as they pass by. So I think it's fortunate if you have a house where it's worth something good and you're either finished with your mortgage or it's worth way more than you owe, and you can sell the house, get a lot of money, and you either just retired from a job, or you're going to be getting your pension, or you have a job, or you have a job or business, job or business, where you're got money still coming in, or you have a savings from a job that you're no longer going to be at, or whatever. And so you got both sets of monies to deal with. And you're like, oh, I'm good, I can hit the road. And I'm still saying to you, no, bad idea. Like I said at the end of the other video, you learn one of the first rules of business is you do not leave one job to go to another job unless you have a second job. And so, unless you have the second job already. And so, but the better rule is you build on things. So of course, okay, it's never been that you're supposed to be able to have a 9-to-5 job, but another 9-to-5 job, but another 9-to-5 job all at the same time. No, you can't do that. Some people work 2 jobs. They'll work 1 full-time, 1 part-time, or 2 or 3 part-time jobs. And that's just like, it's not even killing yourself, it's murdering yourself. And you're never getting what you're worth. You're never making what you could possibly make. Everyone, I believe that pretty much everyone, and this is what I mean by pretty much. I like to, when I have these conversations with people about money, and this isn't just Hasidic Jews that I'm talking about. This is other people of other religions, other faiths, other cultures, other mindsets, whatever. But it's just things that I've been around or have experienced or paid attention to more than others, or whatever the case. And so I just happen to notice when Hasidic Jews own a business, you go to their shops or whatever, it's usually the woman there and the children. And I used to always, when I was younger, really young, before I was discuss this with anybody in the organization or whoever, I used to always say to myself, where's the husband? Like, what is he doing? He ain't working? Like, what's going on with him? Before I started finding out that because the work aspect of things is so tied to the faith and or religious aspect of things, that, the husband is either somewhere gaining knowledge through worship, or out on the road making business connections. So now when you look at the structure of a company or corporation, you have the person who, say, the president of the company. They're running the day-to-day aspects of it through, or rather, other people are running it through them. They're running it through other people. I think that made sense, right? They have the people that work underneath them in the different departments that report back to them. And your basic job when you're a president is you have to have a certain level of trust, which you shouldn't have to have, because you have to have a security team watching another security team and all that. But you're supposed to be able to rely on what the judgment of these people and the information they're providing you. To say that, okay, in the monies that we have, based on what we've made so far, everything's fine. The status of our operations, everything's cool. The resources we have, everything's cool in that department. All these old different aspects, they're just supposed to go over it, the daily tally of everything that's going on, and have discussions, meetings based on issues that may arise or things they need to discuss to further the company or corporation. And fine-tuning things. And then you have, okay, the president isn't the one completely controlling it. The president sits on a board with other people. These other people may or may not only deal with that company or corporation. They may deal with a number of corporations. So they may be COO, Chief Operating Officer, of several different corporations, because that's what they do. They're really good at it. And they spend, and at that level, you're at one place for an hour or two at a meeting. Another place an hour or two at a meeting. Some are teleconferences. And so you might sit on a board or 5 or 6 companies at the very least, and get money from each one. And so that's the way Jews operate, Hasidic Jews. And so I've always sat there and looked like, okay, well, that's the family structure. It's the family. And you don't see this, in black families, you don't see it. I can't speak to other races. I'm a black man. And so I know in African culture, yeah, you see it. But like, say in America, no, not so much. And not nearly anywhere it needs to, at the very least, be. And so you don't have, in a black household, the father there or the mother there. Usually they're not at all. And if they were, then if they have children, then you do not see them running a business, and you don't see where to be the woman there, because black women, I'm going to say something and people will disagree, but it's the truth. And the truth is what it is. Okay, I hate when people say that. The truth is a fact. And if any of you don't like the truth, there's something wrong with you. There's not something wrong with me. There's not something wrong with what I'm saying or that I'm saying it. It's that you need to make a change in your life or the way you view things, so that this fact and this truth are a part of your thinking in whether you want to change something or just knowing something, so that you're not going around blurting out things that are untrue, or blurting out or trying to promote things that should not be a fact or true. So it is a fact, a truth, that black women do not want to be with their kids in a store, running a store, while their husband is gallivanting around, allegedly promoting the business, or being a traveling salesman of sorts, or whatever the case. Because black women do not feel that that's what their husband would be doing, and they don't want to be a stay-at-home mom or an underling. That's what they would consider themselves. But that's not what it is. In a manner of speaking, in a hierarchy of a relationship, yeah. But what I personally feel, now we're going to something which is a fact in certain relationships and in certain aspects of our culture, but which is not completely a fact overall, is that black women, black men, black relationships aren't at a point where they're like a king, like a kingdom with a king and a queen, which is where they should be and have been in the past, and in some parts of Africa, maybe it still a little bit are. that haven't been so strongly influenced by Europeans and or malevolent cultures or malevolence in general to be degraded. So in a king-queen relationship, kingdom relationship, you have the king, right? He's the head of everything. You have the queen. His queen, she's not underneath him, she's beside him, but she has a particular set of roles that women do. And the man has a particular set of roles that men do. It's just what it is. We're men, they're women. It's not a man-woman and a man-woman, which is the problem with society these days. Everybody wants to be a man and a woman or a woman and a man. And that's like trying to be a tire and an engine. Your car has tires and your car has an engine. There's a reason for that. The tires aren't any less important than the engine is, and the engine isn't more important than the tires are. When you're pushing your car down the road because the engine gave out, you're glad you had tires. We'll say it like that. So the tires are important too, even though they might not cost as much as the engine. And so the problem with black relationships is that a black woman can't see herself doing the same type of job in the same type of situation that a woman who's a Hasidic Jew does. But Hasidic Jews' relationships are fruitful in many different regards. Maybe not in some of the same regards as a black man and woman's relationship, because our cultures are different and we place emphasis on certain things that Hasidic Jews do not. But if you want to look at things from a financial aspect and to say your children's futures are in some way, shape, or form guaranteed to be more fruitful and more successful in general than that of a black man and woman's relationship, yeah, Hasidic Jews got us beat by fucking leaps and bounds. Oh, I cursed. No, I didn't, little child over there listening to my video whose mom and dad are preparing dinner and using the bathroom. That wasn't a cuss. I did not say a bad word. I did not say a naughty word. You heard me wrong. Anyway, so if black relationships were the same, then you would go to the hood and you would see us owning stores and you would see the black woman there and she would be there with her kids. They'd be running the store with her. And the black guy would be somewhere in some other country or in some other part of the States or whatever the case. He'd be around making those connections he needed to be. He'd be around in the religious atmosphere learning what he needs to learn to be a better person, a better husband, a better father, so on and so forth. But we don't have that. So we are messed up. And so that plays into a lot of it. And so when I'm sitting here saying to you, have multiple businesses, do not give up one job for another, make a continuation of it. What I am saying is from the perspective of a corporation, not from a black family, not from a Hasidic Jewish family, but from a perspective of a corporate body of you emulating a corporation of people. And that is to say, okay, a lot of us start out with, say, a job. We go get a job at, ice cream shop. Let's say an ice cream shop. I like ice cream. Ice cream shop. And so what you should be doing there from that time you're young, if you're lucky, if you're really lucky, your mom or dad owns it and you've been working there since you was little and it's not slave child labor and all that stuff before you start making those laws and made everything good and bad at the same time. But, you're a kid. You're working in an ice cream shop. You're like 6, 7 years old. Hey, Dad, what do I do? Oh, go put the garbage in the back. Okay, Dad, what do I do? Oh, go grab me. Can you carry a 5-gallon thing of ice cream out here? I think I can. Okay, go get the ice cream out the freezer. I need cherry vanilla. And you're doing these things. And you're learning. Hey, go over there and ask those customers if they need help with something. If they want something to drink. And you're those 6-year-olds walking over there. Excuse me, would you like some more soda? And this is beautiful. This is the way the world is supposed to be functioning. I got the hyperness in my voice right now because I'm starting to tear up inside and I'm trying to fight it with the hyperness. That's the way the world is supposed to function. And so you're learning this skill from a little kid and you're going to school, you're doing school like everybody else. And you're learning these essential skills for later on, some of which you may never use, some of which you may really need to use. And so you're learning these other things but while you're doing this, you're learning how to run an ice cream shop. So by the time you're 15, 16 years old, you could pretty much run an ice cream shop if your parents weren't around. And though we have the laws these days that prevent you from doing that, you could, So let's just say you're a business. You can manage a business right now. You're a business manager. You haven't even gone to college yet. You haven't even graduated high school. You're a sophomore, and or yeah, sophomore or fresh or what is that? Junior or junior. And so you're adding to that. Look at the age we're in. We're in the age of computers where you can go online and start learning things. So by the time you're 15, 16, you already know how to run an ice cream business. You already know that. Because you know how to run that, you started other stuff online. It's just naturally going to occur. And so you're online, you're running your own, I don't know, you make, like a girl did who was in high school. I remember the story of a girl who started making her own not emojis, those little things you go in the background, whatever, not avatars, but the little things that, the little cute picture animated, or not so much animated things you put, and people will buy them from you and put them on their website. That's when everybody was using MySpace and stuff like that. And so she was making she had made $1 million. I forgot how long it took her to make it, but she was selling each one for like $1 each. And so she was selling them online and making money. And so she was good. By the time she was graduating high school, she was probably a multimillionaire. And so you learn that and you incorporate these things. It's like, okay, I got the ice cream business. I'm running that for my parents. I got this. I could actually make commercials for my parents. You learn how to make, throw it all together, make animated commercials or make commercials in general. So by the time you're graduating, you have these multiple streams of income. And you haven't even heard of bus life at that point. And so, maybe you have because you're all over YouTube and all this stuff. So you've heard. Your parents probably haven't heard of it because they're out working. This one job they've been working at all this time because they come from an older generation. And they got stuck in a hole, work somewhere for 20, 30 years and hope you end up being able to retire and hope you get your pension. And so, but you know how to run the ice cream business. You know how to do animation. You start making your own little films and figure out where that can fit in your life to make you money. But it becomes YouTube videos. So I'm sitting here making this YouTube video with nothing added to it. No editing, no anything. But you got 10-year-olds who can make a YouTube video that'll look like a great TV commercial or a great sitcom, a little half-an-hour sitcom or whatever. And I can't do that yet. And so, or don't have the means to do it yet. However you want to term that. So that's what I mean by before you hit the road or decide you want to do bus life or whatever, you should be able to have these types of skills. You should be doing at least 2 things. I'm going to say at least 2. 3 preferably. A triad, a trinity, A trinity is fantastic. A quadrinity, a pentinity, a sextinity, a septinity, an octinity, a nontinity, trinity, you know what I mean, nonity, whatever the hell it's called. Adecity, yeah. These things, you should have at least say 3. We'll say 3. 3 things that you're making money at. And so you have the money that you're gonna have from the sale of the house, but remember, you didn't sell the house yet because you have to build your bus. You need the house, you need the electric and all this stuff. So you have the money that you're gonna make when you sell the house. While you're building your bus, you will have to likely upgrade your tools and the way your house is designed to be able to fit this. Knowing that, and I'm throwing a bone here, and nobody throws bones to me, but I'm throwing a bone to say, you redesign your house so that somebody wants to live there who already owns a bus, right? Because a lot of neighborhoods aren't designed for this, but who already owns a bus, motorhome or whatever, they can come live there. And if they decide they want to do that for a living while in that house, they can. So you just created an atmosphere where somebody's not going to buy your house from you and buying it, I don't know how it goes, cash, whatever. They buy the house and then they're trying to figure out a way to work to keep up the property tax or to work from home or do this. You've actually created a way for them to also make income to make the society better. So I guess that's a good segue for going off into 12. And we're finally on the part where we're talking about the actual career choices. So see you in a couple of seconds in part 12.